hostility, the tension, the hatred that we feel today in this city is not the normal. It is true that people are irritated, and there is a history to it. I remember 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when I was first here, and one of my, let's say, good old Palestinian friends introduced me here. He actually comes from here. He says all the people here in Hebron are majnoon, are meshuge, are crazy. And I actually could take a German travel journal that was written in the 19th century, and a German pastor writes there that the people of Hebron love to receive people, welcome people here with stones in the air. But this is not the norm if we go back. And you might remember that we emphasized that Abraham had good friends here with Aner, Mamre and Eshkol. And we know that he had good relations with his neighbors. So let's go back to the text and remember that. Abraham rose up from before his death, from Sarah, who had died here, and said to the sons of Hittite, the sons of Het, the Hittites, I'm a foreigner, a migrant who got stuck here among you. So Abraham starts with the political reality, and he does not come here and tell the inhabitants, listen, God has given me this land, so listen to me. But he was always a wandering Aramean. So this is the first time that Abraham actually needs a piece of land to permanently settle on it, to put something that is of his, in this case his wife Sarah, that cannot be moved afterwards. And he asks, may I bury her here somewhere? And the Hittites, the original inhabitants here, actually offer him to wherever he wants, he can choose. And what happens, you see it in verses 7 and 12, actually twice it is emphasized that Abraham, it says here, he rose and bowed down to the people of the land, the Hittites. The word to bow down that is used here is actually that he fell flat on the floor. He surrendered to them. He actually paid homage to them. In other places, this word is being used that somebody is praying to somebody, to a God. And you know, the Hittites, they had such a good relationship with Abraham, they actually offered him, take the tomb, whatever you want, the best tomb, it's yours. And Abraham insists to buy it. He then points out that he wants to have the cave of Machpelah, which I showed you before, and at that time it belonged to Ephron, the Hittite. And Ephron had such a good relationship. He said, Abraham, you are one of the honored people here among us. Take it for free. And Abraham insists and says, no, I have to pay to you the full price. And this is actually a point where Abraham, the father of Isaac and then of Jacob and then of the Israelites, puts up a standard that is valid until this very day. Even people who can show it, who can prove it, that God promised some land to them, they have to buy it from the original owner. And dig into that text, go into that text. I want to re-emphasize it again and again. Go back and start at the beginning of Abraham's stories, walk in his footsteps, and you find so many amazing things. But here we have something that reaches into politics today, that Abraham said, if you want to take land, you have to purchase it. And He puts up a standard here actually that was later taken on by his grandson Jacob in Shechem, what is today Nablus. He bought land in Nablus, or in Shechem, from the sons of Hamor there. And it was later David who was shown by God himself the very point where God wanted him to build a sanctuary. And also when God showed to David the Temple Mount, the Jebusite actually wanted to give it to him. But David said, no, I have to pay to you the full price. And as you hear something of the voice of the muezzin here, we are in Hebron today, and I want to tell you something, because a lot of the world is against religious Jews who buy land here. I told you that there is an old Jewish quarter here, that there have been living Jews for 3,000 years. But you know what? Even if Jews today want to move into houses that can be proven that they belong to Jews before 1929, for example, they have to buy them. And they use the word to redeem a house or redeem a piece of land. So let's look at the situation exactly that is here today. Let's listen to the voices around us, but also let's look into the Bible and be exact here, because I sometimes hear from Christians all kinds of things. And from this story, which is a very sad story because Abraham had to bury his wife, we can deduce two things. One thing is the goal is a good cooperation, a friendly relationship. And the other one is, if already Abraham, but all of his children wanted to use some land for personal purposes, then they have to buy it.